You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. Have you ever had to ride your car like a rodeo horse? Well, you'll find out what that's like from Marcy's day. Also, more about underwear and the catch-22 of suspecting your memory may be going. The catch-22 of wait, I said that already, didn't I?
The gods above in Olympus or wherever they are.
Yeah.
Whatever I learned from all the Percy Jackson books when I was a kid, would at least make life a little easier for us during this incredible, abominable, almost horrible heat. But no. So Eve had a doctor's appointment the other day, and we needed Bermuda hay for the goats, and we also wanted to get new straw for their house because it's hot. So we take Clifford the big red truck. Clifford the big red truck is a big red truck.
Yes.
It's a badass truck. He's our pride and joy. So Eve wants to stop at the gas station up near the highway to get a Coke. So she gets out, comes back in, shuts the door. It won't shut. It just keeps bouncing.
Ooh.
So I'm messing with it. She had an appointment in Flagstaff, which is an hour away. So I found some rope and Rube Goldberg it shut. Okay.
What did you tie it to? Like the headrest of the seat, or what did you tie the door to?
We tied it from the side mirror through the window, through the back seat, and then there's no hole anywhere. So she had to sit in the back seat and hold the rope.
Oh God.
For an hour.
Like a rodeo queen.
Yep.
Wow.
Yes, poor kid. So we're flying down the highway to make it to her appointment on time. We get to the parking lot of the doctor. She goes in. I text Frankie and say, hey, this is what's happening with Clifford. He said, I'll be there in a half hour. I'll let you know. So in the meantime, I'm watching storm clouds roll in, right? And I go with Eve to her appointment. I come back out and it's pouring down rain. Just cats and dogs, thunder all over the place.
Were you able to close the window of Clifford the big red truck that the rope had? No, okay.
No, because it kept hitting the rope.
So now do we have to change the name to Clifford the moldy big red truck?
It's more like Frankie the moldy husband, or the clean husband.
Oh dear.
Because he was out there with all his tools, taking this door apart in the pouring rain.
Oh boy.
Trying to fix it. And she had more doctor's appointments, and I said, just go. And I was with Frankie, and I get a text from Eve, and it says, did you leave your water bottle in the waiting room? And I said, yes. And this is my prized possession water bottle.
We've all heard about Chavez. The Swarovski crystal encrusted water bottle. Yes, we know.
Yes, it's like my favorite thing.
I know.
Except for people and animals.
I know.
And,
But she didn't grab it? She just left it sitting there?
She left it there. By the time I went back in, it was gone. Somebody stole it from the waiting room. That's like someone stealing my phone when I'm volunteering.
No,
at
it's not.
Thrift store.
No, it's not.
It's just as bad.
No, it's not.
You don't think people are going to steal water bottles from a doctor's office waiting room?
I'm circling back to the fact that your daughter left it sitting there, which I think is supremely self-centered.
Well, yeah. She's a millennial. What can I say?
That's just rude.
They don't wear underpants and they think about themselves all the time. Which, by the way, my eldest daughter, who's a male person or a mailman or a male lady,
carrier,
yes. She listens to us, and she called me yesterday in the middle of her shift, laughing, and said, "Guess what?" And I said, "What?" She said, "Shannon doesn't wear underwear with a dress either."
Oh my God!
I'm like, I know Shannon is her millennial wife, and Molly said, and I'm so shocked by it. Molly's Gen Z, which is between us.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, and guess what, Mom? And I said, what? And she said, she doesn't wear underwear with jeans either.
Oh my God.
I said, that's got to be so uncomfortable.
That's disgusting.
But back to my terrible, horrible,
And
rotten
now
day.
Shannon's going to hear about this, and she's going to hear that I'm totally disgusted. Sorry, Shannon.
Yes, we baby boomers, just we wear underwear.
Disgusting. I mean, at least a thong or something, anything. Just put
Back
something there.
Well, back to Clifford.
Q-tip,
and
maybe? I don't know.
Chavez.
Ball of cotton, something, anything. Yeah. Go ahead.
I like that.
Kleenex? I don't know, something. Just
I'm thinking of all kinds of things that I'm not going to talk about.
okay.
Okay, back to Clifford.
Yes.
So Frankie took this apart in the pouring down rain, bought a part, put it back together. It still didn't work. So he Rube Goldberg did shut better than we did, at least, because no one had to hold on to the rope
Good.
and had to drive it back on the highway in the rain to the mechanic where Clifford now sits. So as soon as we got out of Flagstaff,
Uh-huh.
my phone started to work again, and I got a text from our electric company that says, "We're sorry, but there is no power." And our power had been out since noon.
Oh, boy.
It was dark, and we couldn't do anything. Frankie went and got the generators. It was really hot, too, by the way, because the air conditioners just went poof. And the kids who have solar power didn't have to do any of that with the generator because they have solar power.
I'd be over there in their trailer going, move over.
Yeah, I know. It all makes me want chocolate and nap. All I want to do is eat chocolate and sleep. But
Now I want to eat chocolate. Now I want to eat
Ugh.
chocolate and sleep. Yeah.
yeah, it's just blah. What's up with you?
Well, my Spanish class is coming to a close this week.
Yay.
Well, no, I've signed up for more torture in the fall.
Oh,
I have to figure out how to make my presentation on Zoom.
are
And-
you doing a PowerPoint presentation?
Well, whatever the Zoom equivalent of it is. Last semester, there were people who had like all these pictures they could show and tell. And you know, there's always one junior Steven Spielberg who makes some cinema quality end of the year Spanish 101 presentation that makes everybody else look bad. So I was properly mortified because all I did was hold up pictures in front of the Zoom camera. So now I have to spend half a freaking day learning how to do something new on the computer. And what's more, she graded, I think I mentioned this, all of my statements she said should have been questions on my homework. And I'm like, no, politely.
Jeopardy?
I said very politely, right, this is not Jeopardy, exactly.
See.
Yeah. So anyway, I think she realized she had sort of hurried through my homework. So now she's being nicer to me. She picks people and singles them out for torture. So I've had a few weeks of not being yelled at, which is kind of nice.
Benny had a teacher like that, like in middle school, I remember, and had a PowerPoint assignment. And I think it was some foreign language class, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly.
Uh-huh.
But his PowerPoint ended with a bunch of teachers standing and staring at a chunk of aluminum foil on a wall. He did not do well on that project.
How did he get that picture even?
I don't know. I remember it was stick people, but that you could really tell they were very invested into this aluminum foil.
Yeah, lots of great teachers. Just this
Yeah.
isn't one of them. Senora, we won't give you her last name, is not one of them.
I would not be a great teacher either.
And also, every time I can't learn something, I'm convinced that I have Alzheimer's.
You know what?
What?
Oh my God. I've been going through that like for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Every time I do something stupid, which is probably once every 15 minutes, I think that I have to go online and take those dementia tests that I keep getting emails for to see if I'm going to pass. And I almost called my doctor.
Well, I have it in my family. So
Yeah,
I-
it's scary.
I have it in my family, and so I give money to an organization that funds research, not the organization where everybody walks and wears T-shirts and feels like
Yeah.
supported. The one where they just pay money to good research scientists doing good research. And once a year, they send me their annual report. And I never was so interested in anybody's annual report in my life. So here's the catch-22. I'm trying to force myself to read and understand these complicated medical reports in case I have Alzheimer's, completely forgetting a concept that if I actually have Alzheimer's, there's no way that I'm going to be able to read and understand these complicated medical reports. At a certain point, I just put down the annual report and said, there's just no way of knowing. I said out loud to her, there's just no way of knowing at all.
My problem is I just keep walking into a room and not knowing why I'm there.
I've done that all my life. But the difference
it's with more frequency.
Yeah, but the difference, well, because we have less space for memory now. But the difference is that when I was 20 and I would go into the kitchen 15 times and, bring a salad fork or get a drink of water. And like the 16th time, I remembered that I was supposed to bring somebody the mustard. Now I do the same thing, but I'm convinced it's because I have Alzheimer's. And
me too.
And it's not a different behavior. I mean, this is the deal. My dad, who died of Alzheimer's, when he first started telling us that he was losing his marbles, he didn't put it like that, but he kept saying he was losing his marbles. And I said, well, Dad, you've never remembered anybody's name. And now I'm saying the same thing to myself. Well, you've never remembered anything when you go into a room the first 14 times. So now I don't know where I am with it.
See, now I'm remembering things like my childhood, the address when I was in first grade.
I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign.
I think it's bad because why would I even care?
Well,
why would I walk into my kitchen and not know why I'm there? And then all of a sudden my address from first grade comes into my head. 3130 Beaver Avenue in Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Because
except for the fact that
funny
it's a
address. Yeah, it's a funny address. That's why.
It's a funny address.
That's why it comes into your mind. Because as you get older, you cling to the things that are funny.
Funny. As you drove up here when you came to visit from Cottonwood down I-17, you would have passed two creeks. First one is Dry Beaver Creek. And the second one is Wet Beaver Creek. And I still laugh every time I see those signs.
Do they make all the old people live on Dry Beaver Creek? Just asking. I don't think I would buy a house on any of the beavers.
Me either.
I don't think I could give people my at least not before there was GPS and Google Maps. I couldn't. Now I'd be like, just look me up and put it in, and then I wouldn't have to suffer the humiliation.
Molly named her dog Beaver, because she said because it looked like he had like a beaver on his side, like the animal beaver.
I understand.
Like one of his spots.
Yeah.
But all I could do is snicker because her mom is obviously very immature when it comes to beavers.
Well, I just wouldn't want to have to yell down the street. Have anybody seen my beaver? Well, you asked what was going on.
Yes.
And we have the small cutie's friend who was in the Marines passing through on his way to being, let's see if it's in the military. You're not being deported. Stationed.
Deployed.
Deployed. Oh. Thank you. Deployed to Korea. And so we have him with us. And
tell him don't cross the border like that other guy
just did. God. I think, yeah, if you have not followed the news, there was some American soldier who was about to be disciplined, and he decided, and this is weird. I mean, unless they were disciplining him for mental illness, I can't imagine that anything the military could dish out for punishment would be as bad as whatever you're going to get in North Korea. So he crossed the border into North Korea. North Korea promptly arrested him. But here's the fun part. The Americans have signaled, in my opinion, strongly that we don't give a rat's patootie whether you return him or not.
Yeah, they don't want him back.
Yeah, I've never seen the American government wash their hands of somebody so completely. Well, we were going to get rid of him anyway, and if you want to do that for us, no problem. Kind of implies that we could take half of our prisons and just airdrop them over North Korea. Why bother with, I mean, I'm surprised no politician has thought of this. Just clear
because there's innocent people in our prisons, but we're not political, so we're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that.
But you can tell the small cutie's friend that Marcy says, "Oorah." because my dad was a Marine.
Okay. Well, I'm going to
I
tell
know all the dirty songs they sang in the South Pacific during World War II.
I've worked with Marines. They've been nothing but lovely. I don't understand where they're finding these Marines who behave badly. I've never met one. You've got a person standing behind you.
Water from a McDonald's cup that I just keep washing out and using. Because I have no water bottle.
I can't blame anybody for stealing a Swarovski crystal water bottle. I mean, the allure. Nobody else has one.
I hope they catch a disease from me. That's all I have to say. If you're listening, I have a disease.
You know, they might. Assuming you've come this far because you enjoy the podcast, may we recommend my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air. It's available at your neighborhood bookstore or on Amazon. And if you're feeling especially generous, please leave the podcast a good review. Thanks.